first one in the glute bridge series is just a glute bridge, but I call it a curl up because it's that idea in your brain of curling your tailbone up, the bottom of your spine, up towards the top of your spine. If you had a bee stinger on your butt, on your tailbone, you'd be trying to sting yourself in the forehead with your tailbone. You're trying to posteriorly tilt your pelvis, tuck your butt underneath you, and push your low back into the floor and lift your butt cheeks. That's how you're gonna initiate the curl up. So this is a good cue that you can use for people to, you can do this on yourself, just slip this under your back. And I'm gonna tell Ryan, push into this with the vertebrae of your back that it is right above, okay? So that's right above the thing. So I'm just gonna stick this right here and I'm gonna say, okay, push your low back into this, but lift your butt up off the ground. Yep, and now push down into that even more. Good, okay? Now I'm just gonna slide that up a little bit. So I pull the pen out. Let me get this out. Yep, just a little bit. Now push back down to where that was. Okay, now I slide it up a little bit. You guys can see here now I'm going like right behind his shoulder blades. Okay, now I tell him to push into it now and start to lift up this part of his spine, the low spine. Push into the mid back, push into the rib cage, push into the pen at the middle, and lift that lower part. So he's curling his vertebrae up from the bottom to the top, one at a time. Then I go up to the middle, right between his shoulder blades, between his armpits, and I say, okay, push down in between your armpits, in between your shoulder blades. Push down into that pen, and curl everything else up even more, even more, even more, even more. Now, he's getting to that top position where the weight is all the way up right below his neck and at the top of his shoulder line and his traps. And to get him to come even a little bit more, I would say, okay, tuck your chin now, push the back of your neck down into it. There we go. More extension right there, right? That last couple inches. Tuck your chin even more, push down a little bit higher, push into that space in that upper part of the trap. Good. Now, everything looks great here at the top. We've got a little bit of a round in our straight line though. We want to have that 90-degree angle at the knee. That's right there. So that's in a pretty damn good position for his legs. He's externally rotated a little bit since we got up there. Usually just happens due to lack of practice in the posture. So turn your toes in just a little bit. This one specifically. Good. Okay. Now in this position, all we do is cue ribs down to belt buckle to ribs. Try to crunch your accordion. Push down the ribs this way. So flex your abs, flex your six pack. Try to reach your fingers towards me. Yep. Yep. Good. So there we go. Now I've got a nice straight line all the way through. Knee, hip, rib cage, shoulder. Okay, that's what you want in your top position. If you can't keep those ribs down and compressed and that glute tilted up and under so you're stinging yourself in the head there, you're creating that compression on the front back side. If you can't come up and hold this position, then that's it. That's where you want to stay. So when you come down from this, now you reverse that same thing, the direction. So you're going to have him push into the pen again. So I'm going to have him come down now, push down into the pen here. Yep. So you're going to slowly start to push the force down and push down right here. Keep your butt up in the air, keep your tailbone up. Yep, keep your glute squeeze, but push down with your chest like a squeeze press. Yeah, there you go. Now push down a little lower, come down a little lower. Yep, push down into your mid back here. Try to squeeze my fingers. Yep. Keep your butt in the air, but squeeze my fingers as hard as you can in the floor. Yep, ribs down, good. Yep, push into me, yeah. Yep, good. And then keep your butt cheeks up off the ground, but push your sacrum into the ground, top of the pelvis. Good. He's still tight here. And then now stay right there, just pull your heels, don't move your feet, but push down and pull your heels towards your butt. Okay, one hamstring. Yeah, there's that curl. You feel that difference of whoop, and then it tilts it up, okay? So you wanna make sure that you get the activation of heel to hamstring, heel to butt. You're trying to pull the floor to you to get this hamstring to shorten. It's just like imagine doing a hamstring curl. You're pulling your heel towards your butt. Same idea here, but you're on your back. You're pulling your heel towards your butt, and that will get more hamstring to help pull your tailbone up, posteriorly tilt you. So make sure that you do that all the way up. So then you come down the rest of the way, push down into the low back, pelvis, release, and you let that pelvis release all the way, and then you restart. So this is just motor learning. We're just teaching the brain how to fire the core in a sequential fashion, in a very specific way, that gets the vertebrae, the spine, to move more smoothly and move each vertebrae a little bit versus a lot for one, none for two or three that are stuck together that don't know how to move well, then another one that does 3 times the work because the other 2 aren't working. So you don't want to have those big hinge points, those pivot points in your spine. You want to have every spine do 5% of the work. You know, you got 32 vertebrae, 5% each, 4%, 3% each, right? You want that much range on each one versus like 10 and then none, 15 and then none. So this is a good way to teach yourself how to articulate each one at a time as you curl your spine up using those core muscles. So just pull back the carpet, pull your tailbone all the way up to your chin, roll it up, and then release it down to that eccentric lowering on the way back down. So that's level 1.